If you think the current high-resolution market leaders are the peak of imaging technology, you are about to have your world flipped upside down. We have uncovered leaks and supply chain reports that suggest Sony isn't just updating the R line, they are trying to kill medium format for good. We are talking about a sensor so dense it breaks the laws of physics, video specs that finally fix the one fatal flaw of the A7R series, and an AI brain that knows what you are shooting before you do. Is the upcoming Sony A7R VI the camera that makes the flagship A1 obsolete? Welcome to Tap Tech. Let's find out. Let's get straight into the heart of this beast, the sensor. For the last two generations, the A7R IV and the A7R V have rested comfortably on that 61 megapixel BSI sensor. It is a fantastic piece of silicon, but in the tech world, standing still is the same as moving backward. The loudest, most persistent rumor we are tracking is a jump to a staggering 100 plus megapixels. Specifically, a 107 megapixel sensor. Where does this number come from? It's not random. Sony's semiconductor division recently leaked details about a new 180 megapixel medium format sensor. If you take that pixel density and crop it down to a 35mm full frame size, you land exactly at 107 megapixels. This isn't just a spec bump, this is a declaration of war against Fujifilm's GFX system. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I can hear the comments section already. Who needs 100 megapixels? My computer will explode. And you have a point. High resolution creates massive files, slows down your workflow, and typically introduces noise at high ISOs because the pixels are physically smaller, gathering less light. This is the classic pixel pitch problem. However, this is where the second major leak changes the game. The A7R VI is rumored to utilize a partially stacked CMOS sensor design. This is crucial, so listen closely. The flagship Sony A1 uses a fully stacked sensor, which puts the memory directly behind the pixels for insane speed. The A7R V uses a standard backlit sensor, which is great for image quality but slow to read out data. A partially stacked chip sits right in the middle. It offers a significant boost in readout speed without the $6,500 price tag of the A1. Why does this matter to you? 2 words, rolling shutter. If you've ever panned quickly with the A7R V in electronic shutter mode, you know the Jello effect is real. Vertical lines look slanted. It ruins video and distorts fast-moving subjects in photos. A partially stacked sensor on the A7R VI would solve this. It would allow that massive 100 megapixel sensor to dump its data fast enough to keep lines straight and potentially allow for blackout-free shooting. That is the holy grail. If Sony pulls that off, this isn't just a landscape camera anymore, it becomes a viable tool for sports and wildlife photographers who need extreme cropping ability. Let's talk about that cropping ability for a second. With 107 megapixels, you could shoot a wide landscape, crop in 50%, and still have an image with more resolution than a standard A7 IV. You essentially have a telephoto lens built into the sensor. For bird photographers, this is a dream. You could frame a shot loosely to ensure you track the bird, and then crop in post-production to fill the frame without losing detail. It is the ultimate safety net. But hardware is only half the battle. We need to talk about the brain inside the body. The A7R V introduced the dedicated AI processing unit, which was a massive leap forward. It moved us from eye detection to human pose estimation. The camera doesn't just see an eye, it sees a skeleton. It knows where your shoulders, elbows, and knees are, so if a subject turns around, it doesn't lose focus. For the A7R VI, the expectation is the second generation of this AI chip, likely paired with the new BIONZ XR2 processor. The rumors point to a massive improvement in intent prediction. The camera won't just track a subject, it will analyze the movement to predict where the subject will go next. Imagine shooting a basketball game. The current AI tracks the player. The next-gen AI analyzes the player's stance to predict they are about to jump for a dunk, pre-shifting the focus plane before the motion even happens. This deep learning capability is what keeps Sony ahead of Canon and Nikon, and on the A7R VI, it will be essential to manage that razor-thin depth of field you get with such high resolution sensors. Now, let's pivot to video, because this is where the R line has historically struggled. The A7R V gave us 8K, but it was limited. It had a crop, and the rolling shutter was terrible. The A7R VI needs to fix this to justify the hybrid price tag. With the improved readout speed from that partially stacked sensor, we are looking at a potential uncropped 8K 30p, and possibly 8K 60p with a manageable crop. This would be a massive selling point for high-end creators. But the more exciting rumor is regarding open gate recording. Competitors like Panasonic and Fujifilm have offered open gate using the full height of the sensor for a while now. It allows you to shoot once and crop for vertical social media content and horizontal YouTube content from the same clip. Sony has been stubborn about this, but the pressure is mounting. If the A7R VI brings open gate recording combined with 100 megapixels of detail, it becomes the ultimate content creation machine. You could punch in 400% on a video timeline and still have 4K quality. That is creative freedom you just can't get anywhere else. However, all this power generates heat. The A7R V is good, but 8K video melts cameras. We are seeing patents for a new sigma-shaped graphite heat dissipation structure. It's a passive cooling system that moves heat from the sensor to the magnesium alloy chassis more efficiently. This suggests Sony is trying to avoid putting a fan in the camera, which keeps it weather-sealed and compact, but they are aiming for unlimited recording times in 4K 60p and at least 30 minutes in 8K. For a premium audience, reliability is key. You cannot have a camera overheat in the middle of a client interview. Let's address the ergonomics, because if you are holding this thing for 10 hours a day, it matters. The A7R V finally gave us the 4-axis multi-angle LCD screen, the one that tilts and flips out. This was a masterpiece of engineering, and it is 100% staying for the Mark VI. Do not expect that to change. However, we are expecting an upgrade to the electronic viewfinder, EVF. The current 9.44 million EVF is stunning, but it drops in resolution when you are focusing. The new processor should allow that EVF to run at full resolution and 120 frames per second simultaneously. When you are manually focusing a 100 megapixel image, you need that clarity. There is one controversial change we need to discuss: storage. To handle 100 megapixel RAW files at 10 frames per second, SD cards are simply not fast enough. The buffers will choke. Currently, the A7R V uses a dual slot that takes both SD and CF Express Type A cards. There is a small but vocal group of rumors suggesting Sony might switch to CF Express Type B for the A7R VI. Type B cards are faster, cheaper, and more common in the pro world. Nikon and Canon use them. However, Sony invented Type A. Switching now would be an admission of defeat. It is more likely we will see a new standard of CF Express Type A 4.0, doubling the speed. So, prepare your wallets, because you will need new, expensive memory cards to get the most out of this camera. Let's talk price and release timeline. The A7R V launched at $3,900. Inflation, component shortages, and the tech tax suggest the A7R VI will not be cheaper. We are predicting a launch price between $4,200 and $4,500. This pushes it dangerously close to the Nikon Z8 territory. Sony has to be careful here. If they price it too high, people will just buy the Z8. If they price it too low, they cannibalize their own A1 sales. There is also the computational RAW factor. We are seeing hints that Sony might introduce a feature similar to the Google Pixel or iPhone, but on a professional level, combining multiple exposures in camera to reduce noise and increase dynamic range for a single RAW file. Currently, you have to do this on a desktop with pixel shift multi-shooting, and it's a pain. If the A7R VI can do handheld pixel shift, combining 16 images into a 200 megapixel file instantly, it changes landscape photography forever. No more tripods? Maybe. To wrap up the technical deep dive, the Sony A7R VI represents the point where mirrorless cameras finally surpass the fidelity of the human eye. We are looking at a machine that captures more detail than you can physically see, faster than you can react, with video specs that rival dedicated cinema cameras. It is overkill in the best possible way. Ultimately, the A7R VI represents the point where mirrorless cameras finally surpass the fidelity of the human eye. We are looking at a machine that captures more detail than you can physically see, faster than you can react. So, I have to pass the question off to you. Is 100 megapixels a dream come true, or is it a storage nightmare waiting to happen? Would you trade resolution for a lower price, or do you want Sony to push the limits as far as they can go? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you are subscribed to Tap Tech so you do not miss the official announcement when it drops. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.